It's time for Missouri Valley Conference basketball action. Tonight, it's the Redbirds of Illinois State. They are at home to battle the Sycamores of Indiana State. And for the Sycamores, this is going to be a tough ball game tonight. They've found the Missouri Valley Conference to be very tough in the early going. Illinois State has been right on top of their game to the moment. They hope to improve here tonight on their home court. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Hazen along with Mike Pratt. Well, Mike, what about this Illinois State team? They've been rolling, and they've had some impressive victories under their belt.
Bill, they really have. They've probably played the toughest non-conference schedule in the Missouri Valley. They beat Iowa, one of the Big Ten's better teams, turned around and sent the Valley a big message when they beat Bradley at Bradley in their opening ball game. So Illinois State is ready for the combat of the Missouri Valley.
And they better come ready tonight because they're going to be facing an outstanding basketball talent, a young heralded freshman. We've heard a great deal about his last name is Bird, and that's really all you need to know about him.
That last name needs no introduction, obviously. But Eddie, I'm sure, is setting out in his career to make a name of Eddie Bird, not Larry Bird. Obviously, he's got a big hill to climb to catch his older brother. But this young man set out last year. He is a tremendous shooter, much like his brother, has many of the instincts and the moves. Coach Ron Green says he will put you to mind of Larry Bird in his mannerisms. So what he's got is a good start on a heck of a career at Indiana State.
Illinois State, meantime, has had a good shooting group of their own, and one of those is Matt Taphorn, who's having an outstanding year.
Matt was a player who was very valuable sixth man last year for Illinois State and Coach Bob Donowell. This year he struggled with a lot of injuries early, missed a lot of playing time, but now has really come back strong, has become a starter, and has really contributed. Now, most guys can't make that switch, either mentally or physically. He's done an excellent job of doing that, leads the team in three-point shooting, shooting 50% from the tray corner.
Mike, what's the situation as far as Indiana State and their hopes to stay in this ballgame? There are certain things they're going to have to do to win here this year.
Well, they're really going to have to control the tempo. Coach Ron Green would like to see a game in the 60s. They also are very much afraid of Illinois State's front line, their inside game. And they also would like to apply some defensive pressure, either half-court or three-quarter court. They want to dominate the tempo. They don't want to get into an up-and-down game with Illinois State.
And for the Redbirds?
Redbirds' year-long problem has been rebounding. They're out-rebounded 6 a game going into this ball game, particularly strong in the offensive end where they're being out-rebounded 4 per game. The other side of the coin is against Tulsa, ball game we had. The pressure bothered them. They must deal with pressure, half-court and full court to win tonight.
All right, we'll look at the starting lineups when we return here courtside to Illinois State. And Sports Vision's coverage of the Missouri Valley Conference is brought to you in part by Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. State Farm Insurance, for all your insurance needs, auto, home, life, and health. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by the Chicago Sun-Times, we've got Chicago covered. Back with Mike Pratt, Bill Hazen back here at the Horton Field House, and they're revving it up as we're getting ready for the introduction of the starting lineups. And to give them to us, we are going to go to Steve Adams, who handles the public address here.
Welcome to Horton Field House. This is Redbird basketball. Tonight's Missouri Valley Conference game features our guests from Terre Haute, Indiana, the Sycamores of Indiana State University, and our Redbirds of Illinois State University. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing tonight's starting lineups. At forward for Indiana State, 6'6" from French Lick, Indiana, a freshman, 42, Eddie Bird. At forward for Illinois State, 6'8" from Rockford, Boylan, a sophomore, 44, Sonny Roberts. At the other forward for the Sycamores, 6'5" from Michigan City, Indiana, a senior, 24, Dion Campbell. At the other forward for the Redbirds, 6'6" from Pekin, Illinois, a senior, 34, Matt Taphorn. At center for Indiana State, 6'8" from Lagos, Nigeria, a sophomore, number 50, Rotimi Alakaja. At center for the Redbirds, 6'7" from North Chicago, a sophomore, 52, Gerard Coleman. At guard for the Sycamores, 5'10" from Kingston, Massachusetts, a freshman, number 10, Rob Vickers. At guard for Illinois State, 6'5", from Mount Morris, Michigan, a sophomore, 43, Ricky Jackson. At the other guard for the Sycamores, 6'1", from Freeport, Grand Bahamas, a sophomore, 15, Richie Adderley. And at the other guard for the Redbirds, 6'4", from Indianapolis, Indiana, a senior, 23, Jeff Harris.
All right, there you have it. The Sycamores bring in a record of 4-11. They are 0-1 in the conference. There's their head coach, Ron Green. 0-3 in the conference, excuse me. Ron is in his third year. He's a graduate of Murray State, and he is a native of Terre Haute, where he is now coaching. Illinois State, of course, coached by Bob Donewald. He is the Dean of Missouri Valley Conference coaches and has been there. And so we'll have starting lineups coming up, but we'll have game action in just a moment. They're on their feet here at Horton Fieldhouse, and here are the officials as assigned by the MVC. Ed Hightower is the referee, and the umpires are Tom O'Neill and Dan Chrisman. So they will handle the officiating chores here tonight. Ed Hightower will toss it up to get this game underway. Alakaja 6'8", Coleman 6'7". Illinois State is a little bigger on the front line here as we get this game underway, but Indiana State may have a little bit of advantage in terms of quickness here, Mike.
Coach Ron Green is very concerned. He feels that Illinois State's front line is one of the better ones in the conference. He feels it poses a tremendous disadvantage for his team. They're going to have to work very hard on defense.
Man-to-man from Indiana State. Ball's fed into the low block. The turnaround by Coleman is there. Gerard Coleman, and the fans explode as Illinois State out of the gate in a 2-0 lead.
Bill, you can't give Gerard Coleman the ball down at that block. You're going to have to front him, not let him have position, because he did have an exceptional ball game the first round of the Valley Tournament last year right here against this same team.
Tight man-to-man by Illinois State. That's all they play. Alakaja looking for the entry pass. Vickers, they tried to set a screen for him coming down on that backside. Alakaja dribbles it. Here's Bird. He can shoot it from anywhere. Great move with the right hand. Couldn't capitalize. Taphorn seals off the rebound for the Redbirds, and here they come.
The Redbirds want to really get an up-tempo game. Look for them to get a quick shot like that. Look for them to try to get as many shots at the hoop as they can. On the other end, Bill, you want to see Indiana State take their time, turn the ball over, make those down picks that you mentioned, make some baseline picks, and really milk that 45-second clock.
Ball turned over, and this the 53rd meeting between these two teams, and as you see, a slight edge going to Indiana State in the previous 52. In the forecourt, Illinois State.
Both teams in man-to-man. Both coaches really strong advocates of man-to-man defense.
Harris with the entry pass gets it to Sonny Roberts. Tries to look like he was headed over the middle, and then he was stopped cold. They reverse it. Roberts at the free throw line. He was open for a moment and hits it. That's all the time he needs.
Roberts, a surprise starter for Cliff Peterson, who's led at Illinois State in scoring this year. Peterson hurt his ankle almost 2 weeks ago against Wichita State. Really is not back to 100%.
This is his 5th start of the campaign here tonight, and he has already reached his average with that first field goal. And the fans are still revving it up here at Horton Fieldhouse. This can be a real madhouse, as we all know.
The fans get into the ball games here. Illinois State is the type of team, they want their defense to lead them to their offense. The fans do nothing but help that situation because it gets the guys moving, really gets the feet moving quickly, and really uplifts that defense.
Bird with a good ball fake. Comes up firing. Knocked it down. That's a tough shot for a freshman. That is a big league shot.
I think we can see right from the start who's going to take the majority of the shots for Indiana State. The first 2 times down the floor, Eddie Bird put the ball up. One, a very good shot. The other one, not quite as good.
Taphorn sticks a three-pointer from the corner. And Illinois State staked to its largest lead of the game at 5 here in the early going. 7-2. We're approaching 3 minutes old here in the basketball game. And for the first time, the band has stopped playing.
If I'm an Indiana State player, I don't let Matt Taphorn out of my sight. He's the best three-point shooter on the team, one of the best in the conference.
Vickers with a nice drive to the basket. He saw Ricky Jackson leaning one way, protecting the middle. He took off to the baseline, and it was wide open for him.
Vickers, a quick little player, a freshman, that really brings the dimension to the ball game. He loves to go to the hole, pitch, or if you don't pick him up, he'll take it all the way.
Roberts was bumped hard, overshot it. Bird is right there on the boards. Gets good position on the boards, just like his brother.
Fundamentally a very sound player. Obviously, Larry Bird, one of the strongest fundamentally of anybody in the NBA, so he gets it naturally.
Yeah. Bird, they tried to post him, the ball was kicked. That's not a deliberate kick of the ball. It did, however, hit an Illinois State player, hit Ricky Jackson.
Ron Green, as you see him right there, really likes this baseline shuffle cut. He likes to pick down, then rub someone off on the baseline, bringing them back to the ball in the low post area. That's what happened just then.
Hollifield has come in off the bench. Sonny Roberts will take a seat next to the coaching staff and discuss some things here. So Hollifield seeing his first game action. He's a good scorer. We know that.
Hollifield, a senior, also very experienced, Bill.
Alakaja rolls it up and in. Good post up there. Was able to just flip it up and in, and that makes it a 7-6 ball game.
Man-to-man out of bounds on Illinois State's part. Got it lost in there and freed him up for the shot.
Harris fires, misfires on it. The rebound fought for, and Coleman came out of there with it. Illinois State gets a chance to reload, and Coleman will take the shot and earn the field goal after getting the offensive rebound.
I don't think Illinois State has missed yet tonight. I think they're 4 for 4 from the field, and that's what playing at home does for you. It allows you to get off to a great start.
They're out of the gate quickly, and include a three-pointer on that from Taphorn. Here's Adderley. So the Redbirds are off to a good start. The Sycamores trying to stay with him. Bird, boy, what a ball fake he has. Didn't get the three-pointer down. Did it hit Harris's hand? It did, out of bounds.
Bill, you have done some Bulls NBA games. Did that pump fake with the ball remind you of anybody?
Yeah, yes. The guy who wears number 23 is a pretty good pump fake like that. Michael Jordan, you betcha. We're going to take time out. Officials time out on the floor. 15:34 left. First half, 9-6. Illinois State.
This house, they needed a homeowner.
Bill Hazen back with Mike Pratt. Well, you pointed it out early, right away, Mike. This building is red hot tonight. Certainly the shooting has fallen right in line with that, hasn't it?
Indiana State coming in as a visitor 3 for 5. Illinois State 4 for 7. Of course, it's their home floor. But hey, you don't always get off to this type of start. And let me say this. We talked about tempo early on, Bill, and I think the tempo may be a little too quick right now for Indiana State. They want the game in the 60s. The way it's going now, it's going to be in the 70s, and that's not in their favor.
Bird tried to drive. He really kind of had to force it as he was trying to squeeze between two players. Illinois State comes out of there with it, and Jackson trying to get an advantage on Vickers, taking it in. That shot hung on the lip of the cup, and it's cleared off by Alakaja for Indiana State. Here come the Sycamores. We welcome our viewers down in the Terre Haute area who may be watching on Sports Vision this evening.
Eddie Bird took a shot you might question a little bit, but he's just a freshman. He's trying to do a lot, and sometimes as freshmen go, they have a tendency to rush things or maybe take some shots that aren't quite what the coaching staff wants. And obviously, he knows where the hole's at.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. Even fifth-year seniors like Deion Campbell will make that mistake, as we just saw. Here he tried to force it a little bit in the middle. It just didn't come for him. Got called for the offensive foul, and Illinois State will try to build on a three-point lead at 9-6. We're in the 6th minute. First half of play here from Horton Fieldhouse. Hollifield, who went over the 1,000-point mark for his career at Illinois State. He did it so against Wichita State earlier this year.
Very big player, likes the ball right down there.
Right down there.
When he gets it at that block, he's tough.
Well, George just shot it over the top. His angle was pretty tough coming back. Couldn't get it to drop for him. And Indiana State, the Sycamores will bring it up. Adderley and Vickers the backcourt. We've had no other changes on the floor.
Coach Green really likes that combination. Really sees the development out of a freshman and a sophomore. They're really meshing well together. They are giving Coach Green what he wants out of that position right now.
Hollifield has Bird. Bird goes by him and gets it to drop. Bird has 4. Well, when Hollifield dropped off of him, I was a little surprised that Bird was able to get that quick step to the baseline.
Didn't have much help side, and I think that allowed him to take the baseline all the way.
Traveling called on Jeff Harris. The ball goes over, and now Indiana State has a chance to get its first lead. And you know, it's interesting, you know, that of the 50 games, Missouri Valley Conference games played here, Illinois State has won 40 of them. They win at an 80% average. If you can stay with them in the early moments, you have a chance. And Indiana State has been able to do that. Even though Illinois State got on top, they've hung in there and played their game.
Since the last timeout, Bill, the tempo has changed in favor of Indiana State.
Alakaja with a miss. And it'll be Ricky Jackson. Vickers picks him up. Taphorn in the corner. He's tough from there.
Ricky Jackson is one of the keys to Illinois State. I personally feel this. It's not a coaching staff thought or anything that I got from talking with him. I just think his increased steady play, the confidence that he can get, which he can then pass through to his teammates, will really bring along the development of Illinois State.
Hollifield pulls up nicely, goes right over the middle, and gets the field goal. Hollifield with his first two. He had 23 points in that win over Bradley the other night. A big win in Peoria for this Illinois State team.
He's a senior with a lot of experience. Obviously, this is his year to really come on strong and be a leader.
Away from the ball down low, Campbell was trying to hold Taphorn, and Campbell, Mike, has picked up two quick fouls here as Bob Donewald heads back for the bench. This man has had a great deal of success. He'll be going for win number 185 tonight.
He certainly has brought this program around the way he wanted it to be brought around. He's brought in quality people. Academics are stressed here. Great teacher on the defensive end of the floor. Really is strong in that area. His teams play that way. They play heads up, smart basketball. He's one of the better coaches in the country. Of course, I feel this league is loaded with quality coaches.
Oh, no doubt about it. There's some outstanding basketball coaches here. Some good young Lions and some good veteran coaches, too. We had a foul call. And so it'll go against Gerard Coleman. That is his first. That's the team's first. The ball goes over on the player control. We can pick it up right here. Look at him push.
He pushed, leaned, bumped, and elbowed all at one time.
Vickers with a nice drive and gets the hoop. Rob Vickers, and Indiana State continues to hang right in there. They're coming off two tough losses to Bradley at home and on the road to Southern Illinois in a game in overtime. A real crushing defeat. They had played a great game down at Carbondale. Hollifield, shot blocked by Alakaja. Sensational block.
Should have pump faked. Alakajan could get up. He's been known to block quite a few shots. You have to pump fake a guy like that. Make sure that he's not ready for you when you turn to make that shot.
Pass was overled as Alakaja was trying to post. Here comes Jackson. Jackson, outstanding athlete. Here's a nice move by Hollifield. Passes off, and Gerard Coleman converts the field goal on a beautiful pass.
Credit that basket to Hollifield. He penetrated on the baseline, drew the defense, and found the open man. A fellow that's kind of quiet tonight is Jeff Harris. He hasn't had a shot.
Yep.
He's the second leading three-point shooter and senior. Very, very accurate from out there and has not had a shot.
Bird, a three-pointer. Oh, right there, dead center. You can't ask for any better. Bird with 7 first half points. What a shot from a freshman.
Not known as a three-point shooter. 30% for the year from the three-point range.
Yep.
Just known as a shooter.
We had a whistle. That basket does not count. Harris put it up the whistle well in advance of that. The ball will go over, and there was a push-off. I think it was against Harris. No, it goes, excuse me, they're going to give the foul to Randy Blair, who just came into the ball game. We will pause. 11:08 remaining. First half of play. We are tied 13 apiece. The Missouri Valley Conference of Creative Sports Marketing is strictly prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved by the Missouri Valley Conference. And right now, we have a game that is very tight. You were mentioning while we were away, Mike Pratt, that this game, tempo-wise, has really moved right about where Indiana State wants.
It started out in favor of Illinois State. After a timeout by Ron Green, something he did, an adjustment on the bench, turned it around. The tempo has swung back in his favor. If you would take the points and move them out toward a halftime score of, say, 30-28, then a final score in the 60s, that's right where he told me that he would like this game to be. And he wants to be in the driver's seat at the end so he has a chance to win.
And it looks like right now they've been able to execute that game perfectly. Adderley, see Jackson, Randy Blair comes out to get him. Alakaja tried to drop it down. They were trying to post on the block, trying to get the ball to Ron Cheatham on the block, and really could not do so. Sometimes you will lean in, trying to establish your position, and then the ball is lobbed in. If you don't make your move out at the same time, kind of a timing thing.
You also had two sophomores, Alakajan and Cheatham, that were passing to each other. Now, inexperience on top of inexperience, sometimes you get on the wrong page at the wrong time. And that's what happened. Good idea, good thought, bad timing.
Harris got some room on the baseline. He just was able to squeeze through, and there he goes, Mike, with his first two.
First two of the night. Illinois State really needs to get Jeff Harris in the ball game. He's averaging 16 a game. That's his first two. Usually he scores a few hoops by now.
Alakajan. Cheatham. That's what they call the elbow, or the pinch post, as it's often referred to. The area just to the right and left of the free throw line. Out of bounds. It'll be given back to Indiana State. And that's one area where Indiana State wants to attack. They want to get that ball right in that area.
They want to pick down on the free throw line, on the lane. They want to pick down. They want to run a baseline pick. They want to get any type of movement that makes Illinois State play defense. They feel the more they play defense, the more they make Illinois State play defense and run that clock, the better off they are.
Close guarding violation we saw. The ball goes over. And Illinois State takes possession with Blair to bring it up, and Cheatham is right on it. Wonder with a name like, as you look at the turnover situation, we haven't had a great number. Harris fires for three. Didn't get it. That number 6 is a little bit high for Illinois State here.
A little high when you're on the road, Bill.
Yeah, that's correct. Indiana State. Here's Bird penetrating. Got it down with a beautiful lean-in. Bird with 9 first-half points.
Now that was a slick move. Left head and shoulder fake, drove to the right, pulled up in the lane. That was really a slick move.
I scored 15 apiece. Here's Harris. Tried to get the baseline, but this time Adderley cut him off. Man-to-man again by Indiana State. Both teams have been strictly man-to-man from the opening toss.
Both teams have really played it well also. When the ball goes inside, they'll collapse. They're doing all the things fundamentally you want to see.
That time he used the ball fake, as Hollifield was able to get Alakajan off his feet.
When you leave your feet, it's all over against someone who can play inside. You belong to the offensive player at that point.
2-point lead for Illinois State. Indiana State attacking. They've got it posted up. Cheatham got rid of it just at the last moment. The fans wanted traveling. And Alakajan with a beautiful swinging hook shot, and he has 4 points.
Reminds you of a mini Jabbar hook shot there in the lane. Real nice move.
Can you believe that he didn't play high school basketball? It's hard to believe it, that he never picked up the game until junior college.
And that's why Coach Green and his staff and all the people back in Terre Haute ought to be real optimistic about the future. He has got a lot of players on his team that are young who he is developing, he and his staff, and they're coming along. This team already in the first 10 minutes has shown me more than the ball club last year did. That's a credit to the coaching staff. They're vastly improved.
Yeah, they look at. Taphorn is in for Harris. That foul was called against Ron Cheatham. His first, team's third. Common foul, Illinois State to inbound. And there's a look at the team foul situation. Neither team in serious trouble here early with 8.5 minutes left in the half as Coleman drops it in. He has 8. He's got it rolling right now.
You're going to have to make an adjustment defending that post area. You have two options. You either wrap around or you totally front, depending on the strength of your team. Let's look for that adjustment to be made because they can't continue to let the ball go inside and the Illinois State score that easily.
Yep. They have to deny getting that ball down there in the block. It's obvious that Coleman can score down there. It's a good observation, but hard to execute. Bird blasted it in. The ball tipped away. Jackson comes up with it.
You know, when you play with a Bird, one of the Bird brothers, either Larry or the youngster, you're going to have to be awake because they can both pass.
Oh, yeah. Well, the problem was most people are born with only one set of eyes, but both of those Bird fellas seem to have them behind their head as well as in front of them.
But if you're his teammate, you have to be licking your chops because he'll pass. He'll make you a better player. You'll score.
Yeah. Bird, that's a three-pointer. Man. Well, I tell you what, I'm sold.
He has put on a show. Everybody in this house is sold. They booed him when they introduced him, but they're very quiet right now.
Yeah, there's the situation. 1-point lead for Indiana State. This is their first lead of the ball game with that three-pointer by Eddie Bird. I knew I'd say that at least once. Jackson with a miss. And the rebound comes off. And Bird was able to chase it down. I'm sold. A lot of people had wondered if Eddie Bird had the potential. They had heard about his high school performance, breaking his brother's records and everything, but they wondered a little bit about him. But boy, he's showing me something. Alive, no, out of bounds, Indiana State.
Well, let me say this. Maybe it would be best for this young man not to be compared to his brother because of how great a player his brother is. Let's just compare him to what he personally does out here. And so far, he has put on a show.
A tremendous show. We'll be coming back for more of it, too. 6:51 timeout on the floor, and right now, it's the Sycamores by a point. Jordan, the Chicago Bulls will be taking on those Phoenix Suns as they come into town Friday, January 22nd, 7:30 the game time. Suns and the Bulls right here on Sports Vision, where you catch all the Chicago Bulls action. That is a fun basketball team to watch, believe me.
I bet they are. Of course, this is a fun ball game to be watching right now. Both teams playing very well. Indiana State shooting 9 for 14 from the field. Illinois State 9 for 19. So they've cooled off somewhat, and that has really allowed Indiana State to get back in the ball game, because Illinois State started out like a house of fire in the last 8 minutes. It just cooled off.
Boy, is Indiana State shooting out the lights. Can't shoot much better than that on the road. They have really come in here and answered the challenge. You would think this was the Holman Arena the way that they're playing here instead of Horton Fieldhouse.
Coach Ron Green told me in a phone conversation he really felt the team was close to winning one, and this might be the place.
How about that move by Adderley, huh? Great. Couldn't ask for better, and right now it is a 3-point lead for Indiana State as they have come in here to do a job, and they have been able to execute their offense and get the ball in positions where their players can score. Here's Hollifield, tough angle. What a tip by Gerard Coleman. 10 first-half points.
Great tip by Coleman. Interesting statistic. Indiana State 10 rebounds, Illinois State 5. So that was a big tip in. That might get Illinois State moving on the boards, because they didn't start out working the boards very well.
They tried a backdoor play for Cheatham right down the lane, and Illinois State was going to have no part of that. The way that Illinois State defends and pressures, they are susceptible to the back door. So it's interesting, anytime you're out on the perimeter like that, they get a little back screen on you, you are certainly susceptible to it.
Particularly if they don't get their defensive rotation down.
Yep.
If that rotation breaks down, they're wide open.
Vickers after the turnover. Bird, he launches another one. Didn't get it this time. Taphorn has the rebound. It's a 1-point lead for Indiana State, and the Redbirds can take the lead with a basket. They trail by 1 with a ball.
Illinois State seems content to play on the half court right now. I thought maybe they might up-tempo more, but they really seem content to play it on the half court and pound it inside.
Hollifield goes up for it and gets it. A beautiful move on the baseline.
And you can't blame them for that type of strategy when Hollifield and Gerard Coleman score so easily inside. Hey, you have to stick with what's been good to you.
Oh, they have some good post-up players. There's no reason they should be doing anything but trying to blast it down there and see if they can make something happen. They do have a size advantage, as we mentioned at the beginning of the telecast here, Mike. So it's quite right that they should be trying to take advantage of it if they can. Adderley, Bird pops high. Long three-pointer, Vickers. Missed it badly. Taphorn seals it off.
Not a shot Coach Green, I think, really wanted. Freshmen are liable to do that.
In the forecourt, Blair, Hollifield. He puts the ball down, goes up strong, was fouled immediately. And the man who fouled him was Darren Lyles, a freshman from Alabama, Hazelwood High School in Town Creek, Alabama, and several substitutes. Alakaja comes in, and Jimmy Holiday seeing his first action.
A little more quickness right now, Bill. They're going to try to go with a smaller lineup, maybe a disadvantage against Illinois State, but look for a little pressure right here from Indiana State. Might turn up the heat a little bit, seeing if they can't make Illinois State cough it up and they could get a quick hoop.
Holiday is a good scorer, too, coming off the bench, number 21. Keep an eye on him. He asked Ball State. He scored 25 points on them this year, so he can do it coming off the bench. This is his first action. And Hollifield fails to convert the foul shot attempt here. He is not a particularly efficient foul shooter, just barely over 54%. But boy, can he do it from the field, huh?
He most certainly can. He's done it tonight for the field.
Missed it. Rebound fought for, and Indiana State was able to get it with Alakaja finally claiming the loose change.
Cheatham, Holiday, and Adderley are your 3 perimeter offensive players. That's where Indiana State will look to score from right now.
You see the time remaining, first half of play. Coming up at the half, we'll be visiting with Jim Haney, the commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference, talking about where the MVC is headed. What a great race we have going on right now. Long one by Holiday, misses. Forced the shot. He had a man right up in his face.
Blair was all over him. He shouldn't have taken that shot. Rushed it just a little bit.
Tried a lob play for Holiday, and traveling is called back on the other end. That's really the first end-to-end action, starting with a lob for Hollifield.
Indiana State took it off the transition, the loose ball. The ball just got away from Holiday. He just lost it off the dribble. Something that happens. Maybe the ball is a little slick.
And timeout. We will pause. 3:43 remaining first half. And it's the Redbirds 23 and the Sycamores 22. What's amazing to me about Illinois State, Mike, is how they have overcome their rebounding problems. They've been giving up a ton of boards to the opposition all year long, and yet they're still winning.
7-6 on the year. I would bet by just looking at their statistics that they could easily be 10-3 if they would have rebounded better, particularly on the offensive end. They're really getting beat. They're not getting any putbacks, and the other team is. Consequently, they're losing some ball games where they could use those extra 2 or 4 points here and there. So tonight they've made a real comeback in rebounding. It's 11-9 now in favor of Indiana State. They were down at one time 11-5.
Taphorn in 3-point range. Coming off a screen is Harris, and sticks it right away. So Harris comes back into the lineup, and he cans one right away. He has 4.
Might have been a set play from the bench. They turned the offense over once, then they picked down for Jeff Harris, freed him for the shot, and he's automatic.
Yeah, all he has to do, he gets his shoulders square in a hurry, doesn't he? And boy, he knows how to fire. Missed shot that time from Cheatham, Ron Cheatham. Let it fly from 3-point range. Bird is out of the lineup right now. They have put him on the bench. Shalakaja in the post. Cheatham and Campbell right now up front. Harris cutting into the paint. Down goes Cheatham. Ball comes loose, and Indiana gets it back. Indiana State trailing by 3.
Bodies everywhere. Good defense by Indiana State. When Harris tried to penetrate into the paint, 3 or 4 blue jerseys jammed it up. He lost the ball. Excellent defense that time.
Shalakaja way outside. They don't really guard him. As you can see, they give him a little room out there. John Pemberton has come into the lineup for Illinois State. He decided to give him a lot of room. The missed shot there. And Cheatham has failed to drop anything here. He's missed 2 or 3.
But he's the team's best 3-point shooter, so the right guy is taking the shot.
Pemberton, we had a whistle. Traveling is called. Dragged his foot. And so the ball goes over. And Pemberton, a third-year sophomore, comes in and turns it over.
Coach Donewald has his team in here, Bill, I believe, just to give most of his starters a blow. He wants to not lose this lead. If he could increase this lead, he would be in great shape. He could go to his bench here in the next couple minutes. He might let this team play it on out to the first half.
Eddie Bird back in the lineup. You saw him come in wearing number 42 for the Sycamores. Holiday looking for the entry pass. Bird comes around to that side. They go high instead to Campbell. Down low. They got it in there. Lockaja. The shot was by. A sensational block by Sonny Roberts for the Redbirds.
When you go ball first inside, it can be sent back on you.
Pemberton drops it in. His first 2 off of the bench.
Good ball movement on Illinois State's part. Very good ball movement.
Oh, and Ron Green is very, very angry right now. He takes a timeout at 1:45 remaining in the half. He is not a happy guy. That pass down low came in too easily.
Lockaja goes ball first. Whenever you show that ball, the defense has a chance to react. As you very well said, a very fine block.
Oh, yeah, outstanding. And then you'll see they get it down court quickly. This is a little bit of that Illinois State transition. Controlled, but effective.
The big guy, Pemberton, waits, holds up at the top of the circle, gets down into block area. He's got a wide open shot. Very smart play by John Pemberton. He waited for the offense to come to him, set up at the block. He had an easy 2.
Yeah, it's not helter-skelter at all, Mike. It's a situation where they're coming down court quickly, setting up quickly, getting their entry pass in there quickly before the defense can react.
Some people call it a secondary break. When you bring your big people to the low post and the high post, then some people move right into their offense if nothing's available. What happened then, when you move the big guy into the low block area, if the defense is not awake, he's got a wide open shot, and that's what happened. There was nobody around John Pemberton.
And Illinois State is staked now to a 5-point lead. You saw the time remaining. If you didn't catch it, 1:45 in the first half of play. Indiana State has to be very careful. This is a very important possession for them. They need to come down and get a basket.
Most certainly is. Very good point. There's a minute and a half, roughly. If Indiana State can score once or maybe twice and hold Illinois State to no points for the rest of the half, they're still in the potential area of a 60-point game.
Ball tipped out of bounds. Blair tried for a steal, could not get it. How about that? Indiana State has gone dry for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And the shooting certainly reflects that. Indiana State was shooting 64% earlier.
They've gotten some pretty good shots, Bill, but they really haven't fallen for them. On the other hand, Illinois State has made about everything they shot down the stretch.
Foul will be called here. The fans did not like it. As Illinois State trying to deny the ball, the entry pass. And this one went against Sonny Roberts. That's his first. That's only the third team foul on Illinois State.
Again, one of the goals for Indiana State was to make Illinois State play defense. Take your time, run the clock, get some fouls just like they did. So, again, they're starting to accomplish some of the things they set out for.
Bird with a head fake. Sonny Roberts stayed right with him. He did not buy the fake. That's pretty good defense right there. Stay down, and that's precisely what he did.
Roberts has good size. He can match up with Eddie Bird size-wise.
Henderson with a hand in there quickly, knocked it out of bounds. 23 seconds on the shot clock. And 1:03 on the game clock.
Good backdoor coverage, good rotation out of Illinois State. It was really jammed up in the middle. They couldn't get the backdoor.
Inbounds pass. Campbell will toss it in. Deion Campbell, a fifth-year senior from Marquette High School, Michigan City, Indiana. He started every game but one this year, and he started again tonight.
You mentioned the big run. They needed a hoop. It's 8-0. Illinois State.
Well, that certainly helps. Timeout will be taken by Campbell. He didn't like what he saw there. 8-0 run for the Redbirds has certainly helped them considerably. And Ron Green, who has been the coach of the year in both the Southeastern Conference and the Ohio Valley Conference, is a guy with a good coaching background. He is not one of the better known coaches in the country, but he really should be. He's had tremendous success.
Ron and I go clear back to where he was at the University of New Orleans. Took them from Division II to Division I. They were an early member of the Sun Belt Conference, was very, very strong in the forming of that conference, left there, and went to Mississippi State after taking that program as far as he could, and he did a great job there. Then he took Mississippi State to the NCAA, left there, and went back home to Murray State, where he really brought that program around, and Coach Stephen Newton has kept that program going there since Ron Green left. So Ron has had a trail of success, and I would be willing to bet that he will have Indiana State at the same level in the next few years that he had his past programs at, because the guy's been a winner. He knows what it takes. He's got a proven track record. If you're a horse player, Bill, you bet on that man.
For a good reason. And, of course, it's a sure thing on the other side, too, with Bob Donewall. He has already proven what he can do and has built a very powerful program. And, by the way, as we came in today, the new arena that they're building here at Illinois State, isn't it beautiful? The roof is just about ready to go on. And next year at this time, they'll be playing in that building.
He's got some good teams lined up to come in. You know that's what's going to really give this program a boost for Coach Bob Donewall.
Inbounds pass, Alakaja. They should never get the ball in deep like that. Taphorn got the foul. You know, teams will vary as to how they play the inbounds pass, and I asked you about this before the game. A lot of teams zone the inbound, and that's the exact reason why.
That picture tells the whole story. Most teams, as you said, zone it. They were man-to-man. You have a tendency to get lost in the shuffle with some picks. That's exactly what happened. That's the reason most people zone. Coach Bob Donewall is an advocate of man-to-man defense.
Yeah.
He dislikes the word zone. Doesn't like to even own up to the fact that he knows how one is played.
Well, then you have to do things. You have to do things. You have to fight through all your picks, and you have to stay ball side on the picks in order to make sure. Here's Cheatham coming back in to make sure that that's executed, because if they set a pick on you under the basket like that, you're dead.
And who can argue with Bob Donewall's success? He's a man-to-man coach. He's a very successful coach. I'm not arguing at all. We were just pointing out a couple of differences in how coaches teach a game and how coaches react.
No, that's right, and that's exactly my point. Obviously, if you're holding a team to 38.9% field goal shooting, playing man-to-man, you're doing a great job. There's no question they've had tremendous success. As you say, there are just different ways to do it. And the reason I pointed it out is, ironically, we were talking about it before the game. And that was the specific question I asked you, is how Illinois State will play their inbounds, and we saw it right there. Two substitutes in the ball game, Hollifield and Gerard Coleman coming back in for the remaining 52 seconds of the half. Blair, Harris.
Don't give that guy any daylight right now with 47 seconds.
And the difference between the shot clocks is 6 seconds. Indiana State, if Illinois State holds it all the way down, Indiana State would have 6 seconds to work with. Harris will shoot it. He was fouled on the shot. The clock stops at 36 on the game clock.
Richie Adderley did a very good job, fought over a pick. They set a down pick for Jeff Harris. He fought over it. He was about a step too late and got caught for a foul. Now, Bill, the bad part about that is Jeff Harris is a great outside shooter, but he's even a better foul shooter.
No. Yeah, he's an incredible foul shooter. We know he is at 90%. You can't ask for any better than that. He leads the team, of course, in that category. Take a look at that middle figure on your screen. And that tells you all you need to know about Jeff Harris. These are like automatic.
18 in a row now, 33 of the last 34.
Man, and in the conference, he's like Garo Yepremian trying to kick extra points. He just never misses. That's a 5-point lead now. Substitute as Harris goes to the bench. They bring Jackson in.
Defensive quickness, substitution. They don't want to let Indiana State get off a good shot here. Bring their quickest players in. Defensive substitution, very well done by Bob Donowald.
And Jackson picks up Eddie Bird. Bird trying to post him. Oh, beautiful cut by Holiday. A beautiful cut into the lane, and what a feed.
Ron Cheatham put the ball on the money.
Perfect pass. Jackson, 12 seconds left in the half. 3 points lead for Illinois State at 29-26. Jackson fires at 7 and hits it. That's a 2-point field goal for Jackson. Big shot as time expires. A long buzzer bomb from half court by Adderley does not go in, and so the half comes to an end with Jackson scoring his first 2 points of the game, ironically. And so Illinois State will have a 5-point lead here at half, 31-26. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look inside the Missouri Valley Conference here at half. Mike and I will be sizing up some of the goings-on in the league, and then our guest will be Jim Haney, the commissioner of the MVC. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back. Our halftime score, 31-26, Illinois State. State here at the half. Bill Hazen back with Mike Pratt. We've watched a good half of basketball here. This is a very important early conference game in the MVC, and one of the reasons, Mike, is because you have 5 teams in this league right now with only 1 loss each. We have a real dogfight right at the top.
It's amazing, Bill, the balance already in the Valley. First of all, let's say that Illinois State jumped right out and beat Bradley. Then everybody else starts beating everybody. Wichita State came in here and won. Southern Illinois has got a dramatically improved team. I think Indiana State's improved. So as you can see from the conference standings, there's a lot of people. Indiana State 0-3, but Coach Ron Green feels that he's been very close to winning some ball games. Yeah. He's got his team in position. He told me, he said it could happen anytime. Mike, I'm real pleased. They're playing hard and they're playing up their potential. So the whole league, I think, has improved itself. There's been some real solid basketball play.
I think one nice thing about it too, Mike, is that they have decided to go ahead with tough schedules, and this is really what toughens you for the conference. And in this league where, you know, you have some very, very long trips, I think playing a good early season schedule really helps you.
Most certainly does. When you play the Iowas, the Illinois, they go on and on. Bradley's played Alabama, Birmingham, and people such as that. You can't help but get better. You play Purdue. When you get into that league, you know what combat is. And this league is a tough, tough battle. So they've cut their teeth against tough teams, and now they're starting to reap the benefits.
Yeah, they really are. Combat, you can see some of the guys who are really leading the combat. Hersey Hawkins right up there at the top of the scoring ladder in the United States. Middleton from Southern Illinois with an outstanding year, and really not many people know much about him.
One of the finer guards around, having a great senior year. He really is coming on and scoring some points. Eddie Bird, the freshman, at 22.3, led Indiana State 7 the last 10 games. You have Harris at Illinois State, Hollifield at Illinois State. You got some real balance here. Some guys outside of Hersey Hawkins and Steve Middleton who can put some points on the board.
Yeah, here's the story on the boards, and certainly this is where the game is won and lost. Unless you're Illinois State, they figured out a way without the boards to win. But Rourke right up there at the top of the league. Jenkins from Tulsa in double figures. That's an outstanding performance. Of course, Peterson, of course, has been doing a great job here at Illinois State, 3rd in the league, and Campbell leading the Indiana State club.
2 guys at 10+ says a lot for your league. Rebounding is not an easy thing to do. It's really a hard thing to do. And those 2 guys averaging 10 rebounds a game, Bill, have really done a great job.
Done a great job for the Missouri Valley Conference and for the respective teams. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look inside the Missouri Valley Conference and get an idea how things shape up for the league's future from Jim Haney, the commissioner, in just a moment. We are back at half, a 5-point Illinois State lead. We have some interesting highlights from the first half. It starts off with Gerard Coleman for Illinois State. He gets the show rolling here, Mike Pratt.
He loves to post up inside. When he does it, he is really tough.
Holyfield, beautiful move, and Coleman finished it off, didn't he? Credit Holyfield with an outstanding effort right there.
You got to love a passer.
All right, how about Mr. Bird here?
He's shown us all aspects of the game. He's passed, he shot the ball, he's rebounded. He's done it all. He's been a real pleasure to watch.
And Jeff Harris finally got on going relatively late in the half.
Scores here doing something he's not noted for, driving. He's known as a three-point or a perimeter shooter.
And speaking of shooting, what about Bird? This time he decides to go inside. We saw him outside, this time inside.
Really impressed me. Eddie Bird's got a heck of a career ahead of him.
Here's Bird. This is a long bomb, as I say, inside and outside. Didn't get it, and Taphorn, look at that rebound.
Taphorn has played pretty well today, particularly on the defensive end.
Good block there by Sonny Roberts.
Sonny Roberts, not a guy you would expect to send it back, but he did. The big guy, John Pemberton, plays real smart here, gets the block and gets a chipping.
And so we have a 5-point Illinois State lead. Second half action is coming up.
The UIT Flames.
State Farm Insurance for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, and health. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by the Chicago Sun-Times, we've got Chicago covered. Bill Hazen back with Mike Pratt. Interesting story statistics-wise here in the first half, Mike. And the first thing that I am immediately drawn to is that rebounding story. And boy, surprisingly even for Illinois State.
Rebounding has been much worse in other games for Illinois State. That rebounding has probably kept them in the ball game or really ahead. The shooting also has been impressive for both sides. 56 for the Redbirds, 50% for the Sycamore. So it's been a well-played game. Turnovers not a real factor, Bill. 9 and 7. That's not bad. It's livable for a coach. We've had just a very well-played basketball game, don't you think?
Yeah, I really do. Redbirds have gotten a good performance off their bench, too. 8 solid points in their total of 31. So here we go. Bird, it'll be Vickers and Adderley in the backcourt. Bird, Campbell, and Alakaja up front. Same starting five that began the game for Indiana State. Illinois State counters with its original starting five. Coleman, Roberts, Taphorn, Jackson, and Harris. And a foul immediately. Hollifield trying to defend. Got there a little bit late.
Illinois State coming out, stretching that man-to-man defense, really trying to apply some pressure, maybe get into some passing lanes, versus at other times they play a sagging, sloughing defense. So that's the difference. They have, Indiana State has controlled the tempo. They've done a fair job of the Redbirds inside. They have played up to their potential. They've got that game where they won it in the 60s.
Alakaja down low, and he's blasted. He is blasted hard by Coleman, and that's one of those deals where he came in there so strong, the officials immediately surrounded just to make sure there wouldn't be any bad blood there.
Illinois State rebounding has been a plus for them. Give them credit for making that adjustment. And they haven't seen much pressure. What they have seen, they have handled.
Alakaja has hit his first 2 foul shots and delivers again. He is not that strong of a foul shooter. 66-7 his numbers on the year coming in here. There they are right in the middle of your screen. As you see, he's nearly as good from the field as he is from the line. But boy, he's been letter perfect here tonight.
Bill, when you play this game close and you want to play it in the 60s, every foul shot becomes important. So those were 2 big ones.
And a factor in that first half was neither team got into the bonus. We'll see if that happens again here in the second half. Speaking of foul shooting, that could certainly influence what we see.
Very good point. Maybe you should get into coaching. I think that's very well taken.
Hollifield, I'm afraid I'd find a way to lose a few too many. This is a rather high-pressure business, this coaching game. You know, you've been there.
It's an amazing profession.
Harris on the baseline runs out of real estate. He was closed down by Adderley. 8 seconds to shoot. Somebody has to put it up, and Coleman does so and puts it right in.
Illinois State looks like they have come back out in the second half, trying to really force or pound that ball inside, much like they did in the first half when they got their lead and were successful.
Season high for Coleman at 12 points. Tough angle, and what a shot by Alakaja. Well, he's going to be a heck of a player when you realize that he is only a sophomore.
Ron Green has lit a fire under Alakaja. He has done an excellent job motivating that young man to come out here and really get after it.
Pass went in there, went off of the fingertips of one of the Illinois State players, and Indiana State gets an easy one. They can close it to 1 with a basket. Vickers, 2 minutes old, second half.
It's amazing that Indiana State is playing with a freshman and a sophomore, that much inexperience at the guard spot.
Oh, and Alakaja nearly had a chance at a 3-point play. Taphorn wanted an offensive foul. The foul went on Coleman sweeping in from behind.
I think Tap Horn was about one step too late on Alakaja. Let's put it this way. The big guy has to have room to turn.
Yes.
You can't move in underneath him.
Yeah. Yeah, he did kind of slide. He has to have room to come in. They call it, in the officiating circles, they call it the principle of verticality. You have to have a chance to come down within your plane. And if you're not given that, then the player slid in underneath him. Blair, you saw just coming in. And Alakaja to the line. By the way, keep an eye on Coleman now. He has 3 personal fouls.
Next year, Alakaja will be able to convert that 2-point basket under normal circumstances with a year's experience and go to the foul line and make his foul shot. That's the improvement you'll see in a young man.
Yeah, he has all the tools. This young man from Nigeria, he is playing alongside on the Nigerian team with Akeem Abdul-Olajuwon, so he knows what it is to play against a great athlete.
And Ron Green has Akeem Olajuwon's little brother sitting out, along with 2 other exceptional players, 2 former All-Staters sitting out this year at Indiana State. Now tell me Ron Green isn't bringing this program back.
Harris, yeah, he's doing a great job. And I think the people in western Indiana, right there along the riverbanks in Terre Haute, are going to see plenty of outstanding basketball in time. And they'll fill that building at home in one day.
3 years isn't enough time to do it right.
Yep. Sonny Jackson missed it. Shot blocked. Alakaja, as Blair tried to follow, and Alakaja draws the foul. That is his first, team's first against the Sycamores.
When the defensive player allows the offensive player inside, that's what happens. They either make the basket or get fouled.
See, Bird lost it. It was Bird who lost it.
Randy Blair, the guard, gets inside. That is really a crying shame.
Blair happened to be rolling toward the basket right at the time that shot went up. That's why you have to make sure you have body on him.
There's a couple ways to do it. You either put the wood on them or put the body on them, as some people say, or you step in front and build a screen like John Wooden taught. Depends on what you like as a coach and what your players can do best.
How about that? Blair drew goose eggs.
So the foul was really unimportant.
So it was. Out of bounds. Who hit it last? Well, the official pointed in Indiana State's direction. Now Illinois State's direction. Bird was ready to put it in play. He thought that Ed Hightower had signaled the other way.
No one seemed to make that call. The Indiana State team, Eddie Bird in particular, so it must have been a good call.
Into the forecourt, Jackson. I think you really got it correct when you said that a lot of Illinois State's success will be directly attributable to how Jackson plays this year. He has the tools to really help his team. Harris. And boy, he doesn't need much room, does he, to get that shot off.
Jackson and Blair have to give some leadership. They have to be the head out here offensively. You need that in a point guard, and both those young men will be called on to give that.
4 points the lead for Illinois State. Bird looking. Campbell pops high. Great pass to Alakaja. He scores the basket.
Nice high-low play. They shot Deion Campbell into the high post area that was open. Nice pass into him. Turned around, found the big guy open under the basket. Well-executed basketball.
That was a clinic play right there. You want to store that one on the highlight film. Perfectly executed. Now Illinois State leading by 2. Blair with Bird on him. Harris looking for the entry pass. They screen across. Sonny Jackson. Johnny Roberts for 4 now as he drops it in.
Illinois State again trying to screen across, screen on the baseline, bringing a man back to the basketball, bringing him up in the low post position. They've been successful all night long with that play.
Getting it done. Bird up high, fires and hits. And boy, there aren't too many players who can step out like that, just turn and fire and drill it.
Now twice down the floor, Indiana State has taken the ball to the wing, shaped someone up at the low post, kept the high post open, then shot someone to the high post. They were wide open. They scored on a high-low lob, and they scored on a jump shot.
Officials timeout. We have a tight ball game with 15:56 remaining in regulation. It's the Redbirds by a pair.
There are 8 teams a chance to win it. That's what you call the March Madness.
Look at this full court pressure. And Illinois State able to break it. Now they release the pressure as soon as the ball is inbounded. Blair brings it across to Jackson. Vickers is on him. And Harris from the baseline. Didn't get it. Bird fought for the rebound. Tipped in the air, and Anderle has it. Up the court. Good quick move. Just took it all the way to the basket. Bodies went flying, including Tom O'Neill. And we'll see what the decision is on this one. Adderley just kept driving.
Adderley had a foot race with Jeff Harris. Just a flat-out foot race. Won it, got the referee involved. Jeff Harris just had a little, not quite enough quickness to stay with Mr. Richie Adderley.
Common foul. Adderley gets it. Again, stutter steps this time a little bit. Vickers. Adderley. Harris is on him.
Illinois State with a quicker team, really playing three guards. Blair, Harris, and Jackson.
The ball turnover. Blair came up with it. Blair gets it back from Jackson into the paint.
Got away with a little travel. He put a shuffle stutter step on him at the wing and got away with that. Thought he might get a little travel there, but it was a good hoop.
Lead at 4, 39-35, approaching 15 minutes in regulation. Adderley. Illinois State with the lead. Indiana State with the ball. Vickers to Bird.
Indiana State at the point in the ball game right now where they need to make no hoop. They're losing ground right now. They're going to take this game out of the 60s where Coach Green wants it if they can't convert and also stop Illinois State.
2 consecutive turnovers as Harris fires, misfires, foul over the back that time. Sonny Roberts, no doubt about it.
Sonny
is his second and the team's 5th.
Good point. No doubt about it, but Sonny Roberts needed to hold off on that one. Eddie Bird had this rebound. There is no doubt about it. And the hatchet comes needlessly.
Yeah. And that means what's tough about that, you take a look again, you can see him right on the elbow, right on the inside there. That is the 15th foul for Illinois State, and they're reaching that plateau where they're about ready to give up shots here.
Indiana State held Illinois State that time. They need to convert this time down the floor.
What a move by Bird. Didn't convert it, went flying. And Illinois State comes out of it. They have a 5-on-4.
Illinois State pushing that ball up the floor, looking for that transition break.
Didn't have it, so they'll go 5-on-5. Sonny Roberts. Harris sliding through. Oh, and they got the roar on that one. 10 points for Harris.
This is a big game for Illinois State. Cliff Peterson, injured ankle against Wichita State almost 2 weeks ago, hasn't played. Guys like Sonny Roberts doing a fine job off the bench. They're moving Jackson at the forward and playing Randy Blair like.
There you had a good backdoor cut, perfectly executed, and an easy basket for Deion Campbell. And believe it or not, that's his first 2 points of the game. We know he's a better scorer than that.
Jackson and Blair really making a point to push that ball up the floor.
Nice turnaround by Jerome Coleman. He has 14, so Illinois State comes right back. The lead at 6. Largest lead of the game for the Redbirds. And now you have must conversions for Indiana State. They can afford to get no further behind.
Illinois State really turning the tempo up in their favor. Indiana State needs to slow it down, get the tempo back in their control.
They ran a double screen for Vickers coming around. He was not open as Blair was able to get through. Vickers in three-point range. Little pick there from Olakaja. Adderley leaning in. Oh, went down and came out, and Coleman seals it off. One shot, and that's all Indiana State gets.
They need to put that ball back in Eddie Bird's hands.
Drive to the hoop. Let's see who it's on. Sonny Roberts drove. Campbell was there, and Campbell draws the foul. That is his third.
Sonny Roberts takes off way outside. Campbell just got caught moving. He was really there. At the last moment, he leaned to the right. I think that's what caught the referee's eyes. Give him credit for being there.
Saw a good angle there. It looked like he kind of moved into him a little bit from that floor angle, too. We didn't see that real well from where we're sitting here, Mike, but that floor angle really seemed to reveal.
Good point, Bill. We're blocked over here, but give Deion credit for being there. He just leaned a little bit at the wrong time. When you take that foul, you have to have your feet planted and be set. You cannot lean.
5 points for Sonny Roberts. And now Ron Green has some problems piling up. He trails by 7. And his team has some work cut out for it. They know he's on the road. They lost a tough overtime game at Southern Illinois. And now they have more problems here. They now trail it by 8. And a substitution. Holyfield comes back in. Sonny Roberts comes out. We had Vickers going to the bench for Indiana State. He was replaced by Holiday. So it's Holiday and Adderley in the backcourt right now. Indiana State down by 8 with the ball.
Let's see if they get Eddie Bird a couple shots here offensively. He's really been out of that offense in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
I see Cheatham is back in there. There's a holding call against, I think it was Hollifield from the back. Yep. And so for Hollifield, that is his second. Team 6, that's the last freebie. The next one turns on the bonus light.
Hollifield just collapses inside on a lockjaw. Gets caught reaching. Good thought.
And batting down at the ball, too, you notice there, too. Inbounds, did they get it in time? No! They couldn't beat the 5-second count. Illinois State slapped on the tough defense.
Here's where the inexperience of Indiana State. They don't have anyone on the floor above a sophomore. Freshmen and sophomores now make up their starting 5. You're playing at Illinois State where the crowd's really involved, Bill. Some of these things, these little things like not inbounding the ball, maybe a 5-second count in your own half court will appear now with a young team.
And if you're playing against a tight man-for-man, Coleman did not get it. Bird has the rebound. If you're playing against a tight man-for-man on the inbounds pass, you have to screen in order to get somebody over.
You have to move, not stand around and worry about the crowd.
Alakaja inside. Oh, it's blocked! Hollifield and Alakaja wanted goaltending there.
And he may have a legitimate beef on that one.
Oh, he wanted it. Hollifield. Alakaja very angry about that. Ball stolen. Holiday has it back. And this is turning into an end-to-end game now. Cheatham to the baseline. Holiday, now they'll run the attack.
Good poise on the part of Indiana State. They pushed the ball, looking for the break, didn't have it, pulled it out.
Bird driving, contact in there, and Jackson will get it.
I like to see that, Bill. Eddie Bird having the ball, trying to make something happen out of the offense.
And you can see his drive. He's strong. The thing is, here's a right-handed basketball player. He goes to his left so well. If you try to overplay his right hand, that's what he's going to do to you.
I like that move because as he went to the baseline, he was cut off. He moved back toward the paint area and drew the foul. He didn't run the defender over on the baseline.
Bird with a 1-and-1. He is shooting nearly 90% from the foul line himself. 88-9. Connects the front end of the 1-and-1. He has 15 on the night. And now that 1-and-1 goes into effect at 11:45. And that's one way that Indiana State can get back into this game. And I'm sure Ron Green knows about that as timeout has been taken. An official's timeout on the floor. Indiana State trails the Redbirds by 6 here from Horton Fieldhouse.
When the Bonells were...
Illinois State leads it by 6, 45-39. We saw a rather controversial play, Mike, last time, a couple of times down the floor here.
Tony Hollifield gets a good angle on a Lakajot shot. Is it or isn't it?
Oh, my.
We might need another angle on that one someday, huh? I'll tell you, both guys were really up there. Tony Hollifield comes from way over.
Look clean.
Look clean. I don't think that ball got above the rim in the cylinder, Bill. I think that was a clean block.
And, of course, remember, you can block the ball onto the board. There's nothing illegal about that. Some coaches will say he pinned it, he pinned it. That's legal, as long as he gets it while it's on its upward arc and before it hits the board.
That's the key.
Taphorn breaks the timeline. That was a good block by Hollifield. At the time, you mentioned, and I thought, too, that there might have been goaltending involved. And Hollifield travels with the ball. Turns it over at 11:31 remaining here in the ball game.
Alakaja, he is a very, very impressive young man. He's got a big smile on his face. He's out there battling on defense. He had his shot blocked. We saw on the replay. He hasn't given up. He's in there, and for a guy that's only played a few years, this young man could have a very good future. Really could.
He's played certainly very well here tonight. It's hard to believe that he does not have the basketball background of the other players out here on the floor. He's picked it up in a big, big hurry. You saw Sonny Roberts come back in, replacing Hollifield, who goes to the bench. 11-12 down on the block. Alakaja, look out. Missed it that time, and Taphorn again, steady on the boards.
Taphorn got that rebound because he got on the weak side and did an excellent job of positioning himself.
Foul call. Holiday trying to steal it. His first. That's only the third on Indiana State. And that's where their advantage is right now. They are already shooting the bonus, and they have only given up 3 team fouls.
This one won't hurt him. He got caught reaching. It won't hurt him, but they've got 3 more or 4 more. That's only their second foul. What they want to try to do now is go back inside again when they get the ball and take that advantage of being in the bonus to their foul line.
Harris, that's where Indiana State has got to make their move. They're going to have to knock down some foul shots to get back into this game, I would presume.
We mentioned earlier, if you want to keep the game in the 60s, foul shots are real important.
Here's Jackson. Roberts trying to post. Now they down screen for Harris. There's the good entry pass into Roberts.
Good patience on the part of Illinois State. They didn't have it. They're swinging the ball, reversing it, scrambling their players from block to block on the inside. Not in any hurry, and they shouldn't be.
They screen down again for Harris. Goes up. What a block by Alakaja. And there was a foul on Harris. Offensive foul as he leaned in, and the fans here do not like it.
Defensively, Indiana State had very good rotation. You'll see three blue shirts collapsing on Jeff Harris. The last one being Alakajan, who got the block.
You can see him driving. Alakaja blocks it. Now as we return live, Alakaja goes ahead and scores a basket at the other end for 15 as Indiana State went right down court, blasted it in, and scored. And Taphorn with a three-pointer.
That's why Illinois State is never out of a ball game. You think you're doing something right at your end, like getting the ball inside for Indiana State. Turn right back around. You've got a shooter like Matt Taphorn and Jeff Harris, who, when you put up two, they turn around and put up three.
Ball stolen away. Taphorn down the floor. Knocked off of the board by Cheatham. Here's the long jump shot. No. Roberts with a follow after the miss by Coleman. Roberts has 8, and these fans have really come alive now.
Indiana State needs a timeout. Good timeout by Coach Ron Green. Needs to quiet the crowd down and settle his team down.
Largest lead of the half. 9 points. 9:46 remaining in regulation. 50-41 Redbirds. The Redbirds of Illinois State have come alive here, and here's how they built their 9-point lead, Mike.
By defense. Matt Taphorn finds himself in the right place at the right time by playing heads-up defense. Great effort by Cheatham.
It ended up knocked off of the boards. Coleman got it.
Gerard Coleman is also at the right place, and here comes Sonny Roberts. Tremendous instinctive follow-up move by Sonny Roberts. Leads him to 2 points, also leads him into the heart of Coach Bob Donowald.
If you rebound well and work like that, there's no coach in America that won't love you.
Your coaches will always have a place for you if you can rebound like that.
You bet. Here's the story field goal-wise. Illinois State has had more shots at the basket, and they're shooting a higher percentage. That's what gives you a 9-point lead. Largest lead of the game for the Redbirds. 9.5 minutes remaining here in regulation.
Look for the ball back in Eddie Bird's hand again. They could use a three-pointer. He and Cheatham can both shoot them.
Adderley.
If not, take that ball back inside.
Cheatham for 3. Missed everything. Foul called against Alakaja, trying to fight and get the ball back. That is his second and the team's fourth. This will be a common foul out of bounds to Illinois State.
Cheatham's direction finder was a little off that time. He was strong to the right. But those are the type of shots that Indiana State is going to need. This one is not even close.
Yeah. And Cheatham is out. Campbell comes right back in to replace him. A name like Cheatham, you figure he'd be a part of some prestigious law firm like Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe or something like that. Taphorn for 3 as Bird goes flying. Alakaja gets the rebound, and Bird took a nasty spill right in front of us.
He's up and making the transition back to offense, though. They need to put that ball back in his hands. Let him get a couple pops at it, particularly from the three-point range.
He has a fine athlete on him in Jackson, who's trying to cover him belly to belly.
Size is about the same. Quickness in the favor of Jackson.
Bird drags across. Here's Campbell penetrating. There was contact in there. Foul. There were a couple of players inside.
There was a big crowd. Illinois State did a very good job of rotating their defense over to cut off the dribbler. Ricky Jackson steps in the way. Almost looks like a linebacker for the Bears tackling somebody. But good defense by Illinois State. You saw their defense rotate, Ricky Jackson included, to stop the penetrator.
Campbell to the line, shooting the 1-on-1. He missed it. Alakaja fighting for the rebound. Bird fighting for it. They tried to keep it alive. Alakaja in heavy traffic, and a foul call. Boy, Indiana State is crashing the boards, and Bob Donewall very, very unhappy. Look at him on the sideline, not pleased about that.
He knows that's been his Achilles heel all year so far, rebounding, offensive rebounding in particular. Give Alakajan a lot of credit. Here, he stays after it. In another year or two, he'll be able to convert in a crowd, which is one of the toughest moves in basketball.
Yeah, they say layups are easy, but not when you're in that type of traffic. Alakajan gets it. He has 16.
I've never seen an easy layup, as you said, in a crowd.
Yeah,
I think that was a good point you made.
Here's an important point here, too. By failing to get the rebound, Coleman had to give up his 4th foul. He's in trouble. He has to play it carefully the rest of the way. That's another little problem when you fail to get the ball off of your own defensive board.
Then you have to bring John Pemberton, who has more beef and bulk than Gerard Coleman, but they sacrifice quickness.
He is 6'8", 222. From Bloomingdale, Illinois, played for Tom Hoder at Lake Park High School. 50-43 and lead at 7. Bird called for a foul on half court. This will be a common foul. Bird kind of riding him from the side, never got his position. That's the first one on Eddie Bird, 15 foul.
A little offensive switch up here for Illinois State. Matt Taphorn has taken over the point, moving Ricky Jackson last time down the floor onto the baseline. It might be possible because Illinois State plays a passing game type offense where everyone is interchangeable.
Harris three-pointer went around and came out. Alakajan with a rebound. Indiana State can close it to 5 with a basket. Adderley, Vickers.
Indiana State looking to close that gap by pushing the ball up on missed shots or transition steals, trying to get the best shot they can get and as quick as they can get it.
Adderley driving. It's blocked by Taphorn. Alakajan, boy, has he been a tower of strength. This is a career high for him. 19 points, a new career high for this young sophomore. And we have contact away from the ball. The basket does not count. The foul was called on Campbell. Away from the ball, and that's 4 on Campbell. The 16th foul on Indiana State. They have no more to give.
You cannot take a foul off the ball like Deion Campbell did. When the ball's on one side of the floor and you're on the other, oh my goodness. I'm not so sure that one turned out the way we thought it was. Yeah. It looked like the big guy, John Pemberton, just got out of control going down the floor.
Pemberton just tried to swat him over. I mean, he just rolled over him like a steamroller. And that was one of those deals where apparently the officials just caught the reaction to it, didn't really see the contact. And that happens.
It certainly does.
That'll happen. The best officials, that'll happen. Inside to Roberts, going up over Alakajan. Chance for a three-point play as he drops the field goal. That's a big shot for Sonny Roberts. He also with a career high tonight of 10 points.
Sonny Roberts coming into the ball game averaging 2 points a game, really shapes up well at the low post. Look how wide he is. Excellent offensive positioning by Sonny Roberts. We made a point earlier about Peterson being out. This young man you're watching right there has really pulled the load tonight. He's gone from 2 a game to 10 with a chance to get 11 while substituting for the leading scorer for the Redbirds.
He has really responded, having the opportunity to play. A career-high 11 points. His previous high of 5 had come against DePaul. The lead at 8 points for Illinois State. Indiana State with the ball. You see the time remaining, so the Sycamores have some work to do. They trail. Vickers.
Indiana State needs to put the ball in the hands of their shooters. They're playing catch-up. They need to take it inside, try to get a three-point play with a foul or the three-point play from long range.
And there's a man who can get you 2 in a hurry. Alakajan with 21.
I like that pass. They got the ball to the big guy. They really weaved that ball in there.
Hard to get the ball down there, but Indiana State has been able to consistently do that tonight. Roberts, traffic's too heavy. Gets it back, he'll try again. Count the basket. Alakajan can't believe it.
I think Sonny Roberts knows he's on television because he has put on a show. And that time, instead of turning with his back to the basket, he uses a little drop step move and a pump fake and hits nothing but the bottom of the net. He is hot as a firecracker. Watch this drop step. Ball fake, gets the defense leaning up. Beautiful execution, just as Coach Bob Donewalt and his staff have taken many hours to teach.
Beautifully done. He dropped it in. For those in the Rockford area, they remember this young man helped lead Boylan High School to a Class AA championship here in Illinois his senior year. And Ilakaja, I have him with 4, but he apparently has picked up his 5th. So he is fouled out of the ball game at 6:44. I'll tell you, looking at that, I didn't think there was that much contact on the shot. I applaud the move, but I didn't see all that much contact on it.
With the ball fake, Sonny Roberts got Ilakaja to lean into him. That it wasn't a lot, as you very well put. What this does to Indiana State is take their leading scorer for the game and their most potent inside threat out of the ball game, Bill. Now they become a perimeter team unless the substitution they make, they put the points on the board.
They have real tough skating right now. 14 points for Sonny Roberts. It's a career game for this third-year sophomore from Beloit, Illinois, who played his high school ball at Rockford Boylan. 9-point lead for Illinois State. They have the deck of cards in their hands right now. 6.5 left. Adderley, shot blocked by Pemberton for the Redbirds. Here they come again.
Illinois State has gotten some great performances tonight from their bench. Pemberton, Sonny Roberts.
He's trying to post up. Pemberton with 4.
The crowd loved it.
The crowd loves the effort. They are ready to bring the house down here in Normal.
Indiana State's lost the tempo. They need to get that ball back in Bird's hands to get a good shot.
Adderley driving, lays it up as he came in from the backside. Adderley with 4.
Adderley's got the quickness to go to the hole, but I'm still concerned if I'm an Indiana State fan. The ball hasn't been in Eddie Bird's hands enough here in the second half. He can create some things offensively for you.
Taphorn, that's a 3-pointer. Didn't get it. The rebound comes out to Campbell. Let's see who picks up Bird this time down the floor. It's Jackson once again. That probably has a lot to say about Indiana State's inability to get the ball in his hands.
Jackson's a good defender. He's got size and quickness.
Campbell driving. He's got the basket. A beautiful move.
Deion Campbell really showed us something there. Pressure situation. Indiana State needs to. He goes right to the hole and reverse layup under pressure. A very difficult shot.
Here's Pemberton on the wing. Of course, he won't shoot it from there. Taphorn trying to post Roberts. They blasted it in for him. He's covered very tightly by Indiana State's Brian Williamson, who just came in. He is 6'9", 220. Played his high school ball in Kansas. Down on the block to Pemberton. What's this about now?
Deion Campbell got caught on a mismatch inside, guarding the big guy. John Pemberton really had no choice but to give him a little nudge. He lost about 5 inches on that post-up move.
Campbell fouls out. That's 2 players in less than a minute.
Well, I have to retract my statement. He really didn't have to push for 4 fouls. I lost track of his fouls there. That was not a good foul for Indiana State.
You're not the only one who lost track of it. Apparently, he did too. So that's something you have to keep in mind. When you're playing with 4 fouls, it definitely affects the way you play, Mike, which, of course, is your point all the way along. And you have to be aware. That's what smart basketball is all about, being aware of your limitations in different situations as the game develops.
You really have to be into the ball game at all times. You have to know what the score is. You have to know how many fouls team, how many fouls individually. You have to know what type of offense you're in. You have to know who you're guarding. How many times, Bill, have you seen people come in and out of the ball game fail to tell their substitute who they were guarding, and then consequently have an immediate mistake defensively on matching up with somebody?
Yeah, a smart player will catch that and will take full advantage. Pemberton, for a big guy, is an excellent foul shooter, over 80%.
Big, strong-looking guy, really throws his weight around inside.
And Pemberton drops them both in. He has 6 points. Olafemi Akinola has stepped into the lineup for Indiana State. Akinola, keep an eye on him. He wears number 41. That's him. Lob inside for Williamson. Boy, they have been running that play consistently, and it's been working.
Akinola put a beautiful lob pass on Brian Williamson. Now there's 2 6'8" guys passing each other. That's an awful good pass for a couple big guys.
You're right, Harris. The lane's sealed off for a player. Plenty of time to shoot. They'll use as much of the clock as they can. There was contact. Pemberton rams it home, but that came well after the whistle. There was contact along the baseline. And so a foul will be called against.
Defensively, Indiana State doing an excellent job collapsing on the big guy, John Pemberton. Maybe a little over anxious, but again, you've got a couple sophomores in there hustling. But fundamentally, they did exactly what Ron Green wanted. When the ball comes inside, the defense collapses.
Akinola got the foul, and to the line goes Sonny Roberts for the 1-and-1. He'll study. Got that first one down. He has 15 points. This is a career high performance for Sonny Roberts. A red shirt last year, and boy, are they happy to have him now.
Would you agree with me, Bill, tonight, outside of the first 5 for both teams, the difference has been the bench?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I think the ability of Indiana State to stay close enough on the boards, even if they didn't really control them, at least they stayed close enough, and that has really helped them, too. So their bench play has been outstanding. Williamson, they got it in on the block. And Illinois State is a deeper team, so you would think that that would be the case.
Critical situation here, and for the next 4 minutes. Indiana State stops the clock with that foul. They're in the bonus. They have the chance for the 1-and-1. Now it becomes crucial for Brian Williamson, who, according to my statistics, has not shot a foul shot this year. If he can convert these 2 and the clock stops, then Indiana State has a chance to jump Illinois State with some full court pressure.
You see, as he goes, that's his first foul shot of the year. He knocks it down, and he now has 3 points. Fouls. That was prior to the shot, was it not? Or was it as he was driving?
It was on the pass.
Okay, so that was a 1-and-1. He has 1 more, and didn't convert it. Pemberton is there for the rebound. And I would think that Bob Donewald and his staff have to be very much encouraged by the performance of Pemberton, one of those key individuals off the bench you were talking about here, Mike.
When you lose your leading scorer, and guys like Pemberton and Sonny Roberts delivered the way they have, I tell you what, as a coach, you have to go home smiling.
Yep, and they've done a great job. Blair, then it was kicked. Bird, let's see, deliberate kick to the ball to recycle the clock.
Blair saw Sonny Roberts rolling from high to low. Pass was maybe a tick off, but a great thought.
The clock reads 3:52 remaining, and right now, as we pause, Illinois State in the driver's seat by 8.
At State Farm Service.
Illinois State in the driver's seat, and Indiana State has a dilemma on its hand. But for you, we have no dilemma. We have hockey. That's fun to watch. Saturday, the Blackhawks travel to Toronto. They want to avoid a dilemma against the Maple Leafs. It's your chance to see ex-Hawks Al Secord, Eddie Olczyk, of course, who grew up in the Chicago area. They'll go against their former teammates. It's this Saturday, January the 23rd, 7 p.m. right here on Sports Vision. Chicago's winners on cable.
Never played any hockey, but when I was in the ABA, we played on a lot of floors that were on the top of us. And let me tell you what, I don't know how those guys play. It's cold out there.
Oh, I guarantee Chicago Stadium's like that too, as the Hawks play on that ice. You saw the timeout situation. I can tell you hadn't played hockey, Mike, because you still have all your teeth. Looking for the entry pass, Blair, Pemberton in three-point land. 3 minutes, 36 seconds. Now every possession is crucial for Indiana State if they want to get back into this game. They have got to make something happen. There was contact away from the ball. Who's it on?
Williamson and Sonny Roberts going at it. Williamson not backing up a bit. He says, hey, Sonny, you've had a great night, but you're not going to get them on me.
Yep. Well, they gave it to Williamson. And his first, this is one of those situations now where as a defensive player, it's very tough because you have to beat the offensive player to every spot on the floor, and that's not easy to do.
Exactly right. You play behind, it's a sure 2, or you're going to foul. That's 2 and maybe 3. It's a tough situation.
Very tough. Missed shot, the rebound. Indiana State was fortunate to get it out of there. Pemberton snuck in there and almost got a tip.
Williamson got his hand on it. The young kid has really come off the bench here.
Here's Bird. Jackson is on him. Bird tried to fake him. Good pass underneath. Williamson didn't. Look at him battle for the rebound. Akinola was called for the foul. The ball hung up there a little longer than Akinola wanted to, and it threw his timing off.
He was right there. Give him credit for being around the basket. He jumps, misjumps, and stumbles into it. Hey, listen, if you're Coach Ron Green, you have to love that effort.
Oh, yeah.
This is a young ball club. They're playing hard. As he says, he feels they're playing about as close to their potential as they can. They haven't given up. They're on the road. You want to see situations like that. If Indiana State let Illinois State get the rebound without any being contested, he should be upset, but that's not the case.
I hope you got a good freeze frame of that one. You may not see him miss another one like that all year. Harris just missed a free throw, front end of a 1-and-1. He never misses those.
He had about 19 in a row going.
Yeah, Bird, a long one. Got it, a three-point home run ball.
All right, folks, it's not over yet. Another 2 more of those, puts Indiana State up if they can stop Illinois State on this half of the floor.
2:47 and counting. Harris from the baseline. Didn't get it. Fight for the rebound. Williamson was there to claim it, and Adderley will bring it up the floor. Adderley, look at him go! Contact. Offensive foul on Adderley.
Richie Adderley just took off. He knew he had the quickness. He could turn the corner, but what he didn't know was Illinois State's defensive rotation steps in his way. It's a blind rotation. He doesn't see it. He does not see Sonny Roberts. He had the quickness. He did make the turn, Bill, but he did not see Sonny Roberts.
Sonny Roberts will get a chance here. This is not a player control foul now. He had released the ball, so subsequently there will be shots here.
And the clock does stop, which can be good news for Indiana State if Sonny misses these foul shots.
Taphorn comes in. 1-and-1 for Roberts, who shoots 71-4 from the foul line. He has hit 6 attempts here. Got it. 7 for 7. Well, I tell you, Sonny Roberts has played a game that I'm sure he will never forget. And certainly for Illinois State, this couldn't come at a better time.
Great confidence builder, not only for Sonny Roberts, but for the coaching staff and the team.
Got that one down. He did miss one free throw earlier. I take that back. So he has missed one. And now 8 of 9 on the night. Vickers.
Indiana State needs to be in control here. Here's where these young guards could really be a problem for Indiana State. They haven't been in this situation before. Their inexperience could show.
Vickers, 2:15 remaining. Adderley, they have to find a way to get it into the hands of their shooters, one of whom is on the bench right now, Holiday.
There it is. Eddie Bird's the one who's playing.
Yeah, he'll try to post Jackson, try to go around him. Foul called on Jackson, trying to impede him on the drive to the basket. His third.
Eddie has some very good one-on-one moves. That time, he took the ball with his back to the basket and went one-on-one with a little spin move. Previously, we've seen him go from the wings to the basket facing the hoop. So he has shown us the ability to go one-on-one both ways. Very smart player.
And Bird now with a chance, and of course if he gets at the foul line, he is particular trouble. This young freshman already has scored 28 points in a ball game. Came in as the team's leading scorer. Harris comes in, and to the bench goes Blair.
Randy Blair goes out. Jeff Harris comes in for offensive foul shooting purposes, I'm sure. He brings experience in. He has the ability to protect the ball, and when he goes that foul line, he's automatic.
So this is one of those substitutions, offense, defense type situations.
Coach Bob Donowald orchestrated this one himself from the bench.
21 points for Bird. And it's still a 5-point ball game. 2 minutes left to go. Indiana State still has a chance. Illinois State is playing well. They have their offensive machinery clicking. Indiana State has had 2 players foul out here tonight.
Ball's in the hands of Jeff Harris. You'll see it continually pop up in his hands, or Matt Taphorn. Those are the 2 guys that want to go to the foul line.
And Bird thought he could pick one up. He stuck his hand in there and fouled Taphorn. And Taphorn will get to the foul line. He has 2 3-point field goals. You see Blair coming back in, another one of those situation substitutions that you alluded to earlier.
Comes in for defense. Coach Ron Green has instructed his team on who to foul and who not to foul. Obviously, Jeff Harris and Matt Taphorn are 2 guys you don't want to foul, Bill. But the problem is Illinois State did such a good job of keeping it either in Harris's hands or Taphorn's hand that you have to foul him. That credit Illinois State.
8 points for Taphorn. He's one of the best stand-up shooters that I can remember seeing. If he's open, if you can get him open, he'll knock it down from anywhere. 66-59, lead at 7. Indiana State must score in this possession. Vickers, into the paint, lays it off for Williamson. Oh, there was a lot of contact under the hoop. Body's going flying. Illinois State comes out of it with 1.5 minutes left, and now they are firmly in the driver's seat. Indiana State will have to foul.
They've got to foul quick, too, and stop that clock, because they don't have any timeouts left, I don't believe.
Now, 1:15 remaining. You're right, they did burn several. And Adderley will pick it up. Adderley picks it up, and for him, that will be his 3rd personal foul. And, boy, I'll tell you, Indiana State has piled up a lot of fouls this half.
Adderley took that foul that time on Ricky Jackson. He wasn't going to foul Matt Taphorn again, so he chose Ricky Jackson. Let's see if Ricky can convert here. These two might just put this thing out of reach.
Jackson is the #2 foul shooter of the team. He missed it. Takeoff goes to Bird. How about that? Jackson, who came in shooting 76-7, misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
Coach Ron Green shouting instructions. He wants that ball in Eddie Bird's hands. Bird's going to come off a pick.
Vickers drives, kicks it to Adderley, driving, contact, foul. Either Taphorn or Roberts. They were both in the area, and they give it to Taphorn. That's his second.
Adderley takes it to the hole after a nice pass by Vickers. What he does here, I'm sure he would have loved to made the hoop. But he goes to the foul line, has a chance for 2, and he stops the clock. So there was something, a positive note accomplished by that move, even though I'm sure all the Indiana State fans would have loved to see that one go in.
Adderley gets to the foul line now. Harris comes back in. You realize that Illinois State has used only 8 players tonight. They haven't gone very deep into their bench.
And they really don't, and neither does Indiana State. But what Illinois State got out of their bench was really great production.
Adderley knocks it down. He has 5. 60% foul shooter. Indiana State has been hurt from the foul line a little bit this year, shooting only 61% as a team, while their opponents have been shooting nearly 75. They're giving up 14 shooting percentage points at the foul line, and that's a lot to be surrendering.
And they gave up some tonight that may have come back to haunt them.
Yep. Let's see, timeout called. He beat the 4-second count. Once it hits 4, then you have a duress situation, and they will not let you take a timeout then. 54 seconds remaining. Our lead is 5 for Illinois State. Mike and I will be coming back in just a moment.
When the Bonells were...
This game we've seen tonight is really representative of what Missouri Valley Conference basketball is all about. 2 teams that have been running their offenses, and what's nice, Mike Pratt, they have been running. You know, that is not running down end to end, I mean, but their material has been working well.
They've done an excellent job turning the ball over offensively and getting a good, high-quality shot. Indiana State's the last-place team in the league, playing one of the top echelon teams. They've done a tremendous job.
Yeah, they sure don't look it. They don't look like a last-place club to me, I'll tell you.
Not at all.
No. 50 seconds, foul immediately. Bird takes it. That's his 3rd. And that will bring Jackson to the foul line, and I guess they've centered in on Ricky Jackson as the best available choice, I guess. There aren't really many good choices out there in terms of who to foul.
The reason he's the choice is he missed the last one. You have Taphorn and Jeff Harris. You don't want to give them a chance. You saw Ricky Jackson miss the foul shot, so don't try Harris or Taphorn now. Go with the one that missed the last one. It was a quick foul, not too many seconds ticked off the clock.
Jackson gets that one down. He now has 3 points. Boy, did he have a great game against Iowa, and certainly the fans around here remember that performance. 11 points. He had 3 steals in that game. He really came to the fore against the Hawkeyes. It was one of the reasons that the Redbirds were able to pull off such a great upset there.
Illinois State has played a tough schedule. Being a team of Iowa's caliber, playing Purdue as close as they have in their opening game, they've gained a lot of experience.
Lead at 7:45 seconds left. Tough situation for Indiana State. Vickers. Remember, we think they're out of timeout. Bird leans in. He took a 2-pointer. Didn't get it. The rebound, Williamson. Didn't get it. Rebound, Taphorn after 2 tries. Tie ball or foul? I think Adderley picked up a foul. Adderley thought he had a hand in there. He thought, I'll just hang on for the ride. We can get a tie ball out of this. But instead, they called him for a foul.
I like what Indiana State did there. They know who was going to shoot that ball, and that was Eddie Bird. But the other 4 players crashed the boards. Consequently, they got 2 putback shots. Although one resulted in a foul, they still got a couple extra shots at it, and one of them might have fallen in. So it was a well-organized situation for Indiana State.
Sonny Roberts goes out. Standing ovation for him. 18 points, far and away a career high. Taphorn drops the free throw.
I will bet you a cup of coffee he'll be the hero of the next tape session with Coach Bob Donowald, huh?
Oh, I guarantee you that. He did the things that needed to be done out there, and he was very silent early in the ball game. But he was, all of his points, ironically, all but 2 of his points came in the second half. But he was doing a good job defensively. They needed a lot of things done, and he did them. Here's Cheatham. He fires it. Didn't get it. Rebound. A lot of blue jerseys on those boards. It was tipped out by Illinois State. And so the Redbirds are in position now to improve their record to 8-6, and in the conference go to 3-1.
A hard-won victory.
Yeah,
for Illinois State.
With no other games, Vickers, a three-pointer, knocks it down. Vickers with a home run ball. He has 7. This now means that Wichita State has now seen Illinois State move into a tie with them for the top spot in the conference since there were no other games in the league tonight.
Vickers squares right up to the basket. No one was on him. You have to know where he's at. The game's not over yet. The little guy can shoot him. They gave him all the time in the world. He is squared up beautifully.
Beautiful shot. Couldn't shoot the ball any better than that. Perfectly formed, perfect, release perfect, rotation on the ball perfect. And of course, that, as you say, the radar was properly adjusted. That
Ron Green right now, we can listen in.
We get a 5-second count. Shift the ball's on.
Well, you know what they're looking for. Now let's see how they play. This is a little bit of a different situation. They're trying to play defense, of course, under the with the opponent inbounding underneath their offensive basket. So this isn't the same thing as you would have in a situation where the opponent is attacking the basket and is putting the ball in bounds there. Let's see what they do in terms of what type of defense they play here tonight.
First, they're going to have to try to deny this pass and get a 5-second count call. The next thing they're going to try to do is steal the pass, obviously. And third, they'll foul immediately and not let the seconds tick off the clock. Total denial by Indiana State.
Blair, and they'll do the best they can. They do get it inbounds. Caphorn came right there.
Didn't foul quick enough, Bill.
No, 12 seconds left. Foul in the backcourt. Harris, and a 1-and-1. It'll either be Vickers or Cheatham.
I look into Jeff Harris's eyes after that foul, and they're just lit up like a Las Vegas slot machine. He just loves to go to that foul line. Amazing foul shooter.
Well, and you know, there's a philosophy. I've seen a lot of different philosophies on shooting foul shots. I think the one that I like the best is, and there are a lot of things about the mental aspect of it, but it's almost as if you say to yourself, hey, I'm a man. I am going to go here. Nobody is going to foul me and get away with it. I'm going to make them pay for it by putting these foul shots in.
I think you're 100% correct. Then you go to the foul line and you do the same mechanical type things over and over again. You bend the knees. It's all very simple, but the attitude that you talked about is very, very important.
You have to have I always thought you have to have just a little bit of anger there. You thought you could foul me. You thought I'm the weak link in the chain. Well, I'm going to show you I'm not. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to stick these foul shots. And if they have that mentality and that concentration is very strong, and then, as you say, then not getting so caught up with it that you can't execute the mechanics. You still have to get the mechanics.
If I could throw one point, maybe you thought of it, maybe not, is the greed factor. Because they're free throws. They're free points. And guys who score a lot of points understand that. And you just love to see a player, particularly a big man, who can get to and get to the foul line a lot. Or if he doesn't get to 2, he's automatic when he gets to the foul line.
Yes.
So he's either adding 3 or adding 2 every time you foul him. And then as the opposition, from a coaching standpoint, that presents a tremendous problem for you. So I think there's a little greed factor in there too. And I don't mean that as a negative greed. I mean that as a positive greed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, when I think of players that do that in the NBA, do come to my mind, Adrian Dantley, of course, and Moses Malone. Both of those players are exceptional. And in Moses' case, I think it's very special because he was not a good foul shooter when he came into the NBA. But he was so early on the fact that, hey, if you learn to hit your foul shots, you're going to help yourself a lot. And he's done it.
He certainly has. Guy in this league, Hersey Hawkins, is exceptional at that. You like to see big guys really become good foul shooters because it's more logical for them to get fouled in your offense inside.
It'll be tossed in by Indiana State. Not much time left. They trail it by 8. Vickers, you see the time remaining, trying to get it to Bird. He'll fire from the baseline, didn't get it. Rebound Illinois State, and the game is over. The game comes to an end. Illinois State came on strong in the second half and pulled out a 72-64 victory as the fans here at Horton Fieldhouse, the great majority of whom, of course, are Illinois State fans, will go to their cars and head home very happy here tonight. They have seen a very good basketball game. Certainly the performance of Eddie Bird in a losing cause, as you see Bob Donowall headed off the court here. The performance for Eddie Bird in a losing cause. Bird and Alakija, both of whom with 21. Alakija, excuse me, each of whom had 21. But the tremendous performance of Sonny Roberts for Illinois State, as you say, not normally a starter, Mike. He did everything you could ask, and they had more balance. They had a much more balanced attack. They put 4 players in double figures, and then they had a bunch of others coming off the bench. They got 6, 8, 14 points off of their bench, and that really helped.
I think that's the magic word. I think you hit the nail on the head. Bench. Indiana State, a young team playing a lot of young players, maybe has some of their potential bench players and could give them some real firepower off that bench starting right now. So they don't have quite as long a bench as Illinois State, nor as experienced as starters. So I think that proved to be a real factor tonight. Indiana State hung in there. They tried to stay in a situation where they controlled the tempo and keep the game in the 60s. It ended up 72-64. I think from about 15 minutes to maybe 8 minutes in the second half, Bill, the game got away from them. Sonny Roberts got very hot offensively. Bird didn't have the ball in his hands, and they weren't able to convert some easy shots.
And I think the rebounding for Illinois, that certainly is a good sign, too. By improving their performance on the boards, that's going to help them down if they can continue to make efforts there. Because
they have been beaten on the boards, and it's cost them some ball games. So if they can continue to do that, that might help them out down the stretch. And
our next Missouri Valley Conference game will be next Thursday, January 28th at 7 p.m. when the Redbirds of Illinois State travel to Tulsa, Oklahoma. They will take on the Golden Hurricanes. The executive producer for tonight's game, Jim Corno. Tonight's game has been produced and directed by Bob Albrecht. Studio coordinator, Aldo Perry. And remote facilities provided by Trio Video. The second half of our Wednesday night college basketball doubleheader as Cincinnati takes on Louisville. Coming up next, stay tuned. Bill Hazen speaking for Mike Pratt here from Normal, Illinois, where tonight it was a normal victory indeed for Illinois State, 72-64. They have been victorious many times on this floor at Horton Fieldhouse. Bill Hazen for Mike Pratt. That's the story here from Central Illinois for tonight. Preceding has been an exclusive Sports Vision presentation.